All right, question with this, just to specify for those that are unaware, because there's still like a artificially constructed like river, like running water that goes through the main pyramid that's still running today. And then there's also these like pristine, crystal clear, long stretches and tunnels, kilometers, I believe, of this primary water that you've also found in there. And are they like it's stacked in layers sort of thing? Or like what sort of, how in depth has the LiDAR and the ground penetrating radar studies that you've done with it?
Yes. Okay. These are several questions. You are right about the water. Water was always extremely important for the ancients. In Egypt, River Nile. In China, Peru, Mexico, major rivers. In our case, in Bosnia, two major rivers, River Fonica, River Bosna, a lot of underground water streams.
The literal
water moves
Bosniak.
kinetic energy. We are discovering in 5 tunnels water. It's been there for thousands of years, and crystal clear and clean water. We've analyzed, comparing to our city water. Our city water, no viruses, no bacteria, no fungi, because it's been treated by the chlorine. The chlorine is a poison. In some countries, they add fluoride. UK, Ireland, Australia, New Zealand, Canada, US, Argentina, Chile, and so on. The fluoride, until 15 years back, was exclusively poison for rats. This is what we drink. Traces of heavy metals, traces of plastic. The water from the Bosnian pyramids, it's not treated, it vibrates high. We sent to the late Dr. Masaru Emoto in Japan. He got it frozen, then filmed through the electronic microscope. It has beautiful hexagonal structure with a lot of crystal-like structure. Comparing to our water, which is deformed, no structure at all, you can see that it is happy water. It vibrates high. And via what we drink, via what we eat, we notice that the pyramid energy, which I just mentioned, affects seeds, agriculture. We did an experiment with the seeds of beans. One control group we kept at home. The other one, tunnels, the third one on the top of the Bosnian Pyramid of the Sun. And then we planted it. The pyramid seeds were growing 2-3 times quicker, richer, healthier. So the pyramid energy affects our DNA structure. The next one, maybe most exciting. We had 5 teams from 5 different countries, from Croatia, Serbia, Finland, Italy, and Germany, who went to the top of the Bosnian pyramids at 5 different times with their own instruments, and they measured the presence of the energy beam, which is 28 kilohertz frequency, electrical in nature, 13 feet diameter, and as it goes up, it goes all the way to 70 feet, coming back to 1370, and the strength of the signal is getting stronger and stronger as it moves away from the pyramid. In science, this phenomenon is called the scalar waves. The first scientist who was investigating these subtle energies was the genius Nikola Tesla, 125 years ago in his lab in Colorado Springs. In the last 50 years, the Russian physicists, they've been working on it. And their conclusion, the scalar waves move quicker than the speed of light. Or to be more precise, the information within the scalar fields move 100 million times quicker than the speed of light. So the movement of the information is instant from one end of the galaxy to another one. So our conclusion number 1, the first potential purpose of the pyramid energy is the communication device. And this communication device has been running even today because we have measured it. I do measurements also on some other pyramids and concluded that Khafre, the second largest Egyptian pyramid, is also energetically active. The Kukulkan pyramid in Mexico, Chichen Itza, the Man pyramid, energetically active. The Moon pyramid in Teotihuacan, Mexico also. So This is the knowledge they try to hide from us. They teach us pyramids were built for one dead body, king or pharaoh. It doesn't make sense. Why would somebody spend 6 million tons of blocks for the Great Pyramid of Egypt, for one dead body, incorporate so much astronomical knowledge, mathematical knowledge, elements of sacred geometry, number pi, number phi, golden section spiral, and so on? Doesn't make sense. But once we realize that the pyramids are energy machines that can affect in very beneficial way the communication, the health protection, molecular structure of the water and the food, and immunity, and our bioenergy field, auric field, to bring back chakras in balance, then it does make sense. The pyramids were built to serve communities of living people and to last for thousands of years.
Well, in your opinion, who built them?
Now, in archaeology, we have 5 questions. The first one is who, when, how, why, what? What is this? We have pyramid complex. Who? Well, right now, we don't have a very precise answer on that. However, when we see that they were able to make the best quality concrete, which they used to cover the Bosnian Pyramid of the Sun. Why I'm saying best quality? Our concretes are in the range when it comes to hardness from 10 to 60 megapascals. 60 made in US, made in Germany. The concrete from the Bosnian pyramids, 155 megapascals. We, the civilization of 21st century, we cannot make such a good quality concrete. So they were very advanced. They knew how to get very specific frequencies, 28 kilohertz. Nikola Tesla, when he built the famous Warden Cliff Tower in the state of New York, 1900, he did a few experiments, and then he was writing in his diary, I found a way to send unlimited quantities of energies, thousands of horsepowers between 2 planets, regardless of their distance. And the frequency he was using was 28 kilohertz, exactly the same that we measure on the top of the Bosnian Pyramid of the Sun. So the builders, they knew how to get proper frequencies. The next question is how? How did they change the molecular structure of the material to make such a good quality concrete? How did they know about elements of sacred geometry? What are the elements? For example, equilateral triangle, the most powerful geometrical shape. Hexagon, consisting of 6 equilateral triangles. Number pi, 3.14, which is incorporated in Egyptian pyramids. Number phi, golden section or golden section spiral. We can see the tops of the Pyramid of the Sun and the Love and a couple of more pyramid hills. They are all sitting on the same line. When you have those elements, you got the movements of the energy. It has always been about the energy. And finally, the last question, why I started answering that question, communication, health protection, water, food, immunity, and so on. Why I keep saying health protection? We have noticed that when people go to the Bosnian pyramid tunnels, they feel good, they feel light. Deeper they go, they breathe better and better. Since there is only one entrance, which is at the same time exit, it's not logical. You would expect as you go deeper, lack of oxygen. It's not the case. People who have respiratory problems, asthma, for example, they breathe so well that after a couple of times in the tunnels, they don't need air pump, inhalers no more. People who have high blood pressure, it gets normalized. People with a high glucose in the blood, high sugar in the blood, it drops. People with the pains are gone. People with the very serious diseases, tumors, cancers, and so on. After 10 days in the tunnels, 1 hour in the morning, 1 hour in the evening, and for days like that, they can see revolutionary progress of their health. And even though we always say, hey, we are not in the healing business, we don't give the medical guarantees. However, we measure, and this is what we've measured, we scientifically proved. There is a combination of 10 elements, and very quickly, the first 5, absence of all harmful radiations. Right now, we are in our homes, our studios, we are exposed to the cosmic radiation. If we accept the fact that we are planet, not the flat Earth. So, harmful radiations. In the tunnels, under the ground, no harmful radiations, no natural radioactivity, no geopathogenic radiations, no signal for the cell phone, no signal for the Wi-Fi. For the first time in our life, we enter the tunnels, no bad energy. Our body cells don't have enemies. They can start doing their job. What is their job? To fix the problems in our body, to start the regeneration process. And we measure 5 more energy phenomena. The best frequency of electromagnetic field, 28 kilohertz. That's the frequency of our planet. She is our mother. She can give us only good frequencies. Unlike us, we make up frequencies and the voltages. For example, in the US, 110 volts and 60 hertz. You touch the loose wire, it kills you. That's our technology. Number 7, the best frequency of the ultrasound, 28 kilohertz. It's all measurable, as you can see. This is the frequency of the levitation. We feel light. Number 8, 7.83 hertz. This is called original Schumann resonance. This is the resonance of our planet. When we think, if anybody do that anymore, we create brain waves at 7.83 hertz. As long as we have the same frequency like our mother, we are in balance. However, due to our bad technology, computers, laptops, cell phones, microwaves, satellite dishes, in big cities, they are so contaminated with this energy that the frequency changes. In Sarajevo, capital city of Bosnia, 12 hertz. In Munich, Germany, 15 hertz. In New York, 18 hertz. What happens? Different frequencies, disbalance, it creates stress. You need to go to the big city. Oh my gosh, the atmosphere is not so good. The frequency, the stress, this and that. You go to the village, you breathe, you love it. So in Bosnian pyramid tunnels, it's 7.83. It brings you back to the balance. And I mentioned negative ions. Negative ions clear the atmosphere from dust, from pollen, from smog, from microbes, viruses, bacteria, fungi. You go inside, they clean your body from outside and from inside. Did I say viruses? Of course I did. If coronavirus was a virus, it protects us from corona. You know, in our homes right now, we have 20, 30, or 50 negative ions per cubic centimeter. You go outside, a little bit fresher, 100. You go to the top of the mountains, pine trees, 1,000. You go to Bosnian pyramid tunnels, and you heard that, between 20 to 50,000 negative ions. And during the winter, with less people, 220,000. Niagara Falls, 100,000. So, when you combine all these elements, the Bosnian pyramid tunnels are the safest and the healthiest place on the planet, and that's why we have this healing effect. And if we get lucky, even rejuvenation.
How often are you able to go inside of them?
Well, 15 years back, I came back to Bosnia from Houston. I moved to Sarajevo first, a couple of years back. When I sold my business in Houston, I built my house here. Applying elements of sacred geometry, it's just 100 meters, 330 feet from the tunnels. So how often? I go 3-4 times a week. Plus my employees, they work in the tunnels, Ravne 1, Ravne 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So I go to different tunnels, I go to the pyramids, so I combine those energies. And when it comes to the drink, I drink only the pyramid water, and I drink, since I have the fruit trees here, which I never spray with pesticides and so on, organic, 40 years old, this is the only drink I have. My own juice, from apples, from pears, and my own pyramid water. And I am happy.
That's awesome.
So yeah, maybe go into that a little bit about the pyramid water, and also just because it's interesting. I noticed when I was there, the ionic feeling in the tunnels. Like not a lot of fungus is interesting, and that you've got, except for maybe like right at the very front of the cave where you've got tourists that are coming in and out, you might have like a cute mushroom. Like, but then once you get into it, it's like you'd think
Leave
deeper
your
in.
fungi at the door.
Yeah, once you get in, it's like super clean, sterile, and the air is so clean, and you're just wondering like how is this working, that it's ionizing the particles and pulling them down so that they're like, what's going on with that?
Exactly that. What are the negative ions? There's some extra electrons in atoms or molecules, and they are free in the air, negatively charged. When there is a dust, they connect with the dust, they become heavy, drop to the floor. They connect with the smog, drop to the floor. So they clean the atmosphere from everything.
Wow.
That's why you can breathe so well. That's why the people with asthma, they start breathing really deep and really well.
Okay, and then also really quickly, do you think with the cleaning of the water, because you've got pyramid water and it seems so great, and you've got Giza by the Nile, and you've got like Teotihuacans by like the Montezuma, like all these rivers. Do you think that the pyramids are to put out like frequency cleaned water, like to spread it? Is that kind of the goal, you think, with these things? Or
pyramids always multi-layer purposes. Water, extremely important. Energy beams, extremely important. Health protection, extremely important. Food, agriculture, immunity. And when it comes to immunity, the last 3-4 years, they were telling us the vaccine is the key word. It's not. Being vaccinated or non-vaccinated, everybody's going to get the viruses and they're going to get sick. And then the question is of our immunity. You go to the tunnels, your immunity rises up. So as you can see, really the pyramid energy affects the major functions in our life. And that's the reason why they wanted to hide for us. The pyramid energy is clean, unlimited. And once you build the pyramid complex, it is free. They work forever. And the running water is important because the whole process with this kinetic energy starts. We have water under the pyramid tunnels moving towards the pyramid. You have the energies in the tunnels moving towards the pyramid, most probably feeding the pyramid with the energy. It's active energy machines. But you have noticed also the tunnels, what we do there. There are two civilizations. First, who built this network, and the second one, who closed all the tunnels. They fill the tunnels with the filler material. So what we do, we are removing the filler material. The more tunnels we open, energy is getting stronger and stronger. The concentration of negative ions, higher and higher. The strength of the signals within ultrasound and electromagnetism, stronger and stronger. So imagine once we clear all the tunnels, all the way to the pyramids, what kind of very strong energy
we'll be able to see that beam. Everybody will see the beam when you have it fully.
And you know what? You are probably right. This is what I call spirituality. Not spirituality in a sense, religious or faith. That's separate. For me, spirituality is development of spiritual senses. So we can create a picture beyond the physical reality. The physical reality is based on our 5 physical senses. We can see, we can hear, we can taste, we can smell, and we can touch. But our physical senses are so limited. For example, what we can hear is a sound. Sound is from 20 hertz to 20 kilohertz. Above 20 kilohertz is called ultrasound. Below 20 hertz is called infrasound. We cannot hear, but we can measure. We do have a spiritual sense, which is counterpart. So we actually can hear even more. We don't develop it. What we see is less than 1% of the world around us. We see what's visible. We see basically within the frequency of those 7 colors. Which 7 colors? If you have a prism, the light's coming through a prism, then we can see those 7 colors. It starts with the red, orange, yellow, green, blue, indigo, and violet. Of course, those 7 colors have been kidnapped by the LGBTIQ today. But scientifically speaking, this is what we see. And this is 0.3% of the visible spectrum. Less than 1%. This is what we see. Our cats, they can see at least 2 or 3%.